50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh my God!
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 386. Today is Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock, and joining me from parts unknown. E, where you at, kid?
In Winter Haven, Florida, man. Shout out to South. I'm out here. Apologize for coming to you guys a little late today, Dill, but me and you, we had to tune into the great Laker Pelicans game, and what a thrilling fashion it was, Dill. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, what a start to the NBA play-in tournament. Lakers take care of business 110-106, and we will start there. What a game from Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Even D'Lo, 5 for 11 from downtown. You know, there was a little fight. I thought there was a little blowout coming after that first half, and I mean, Zion kind of just put his head down and said, I'm in fuck it mode. Like, I'm going to just carry this team. Him and Alvarado and Murphy on the court together, they were really good. I mean, Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, they didn't even play down the stretch. CJ McCollum was awful tonight. 4 from 15, 1 from 9 from behind the arc. Couldn't get it done, but overall, Lakers get the 7th seed and they go on to win. What are your thoughts, kid?
Yeah, Dill, it was a great game. The Pelicans came out, started off, pretty good on a fire, unlike they did the other day on Sunday to end the season. I like the fact that they came out, played aggressively. Then we saw the Lakers start getting in rhythm, especially second quarter on. They get that 5-point lead to stretch it all the way to 18 midway in the third quarter. And like you said, Dill, CJ McCollum had an off night. Brandon Ingram had an off night. Those guys are sitting in the bench late in the fourth quarter, mostly entire the whole fourth quarter, Dill. That's a little concerning to me, but you got to give the Lakers credit just because they had the lead. They got a little comfortable. Then the Pelicans started playing that tough defense, and they started draining threes. The Pelicans shot poorly from the 3-point line in the first half.
Yeah.
Started staking them in the second half, though. And we saw with Jose Alvarado on the floor, that defense intensity just switched. So, you got to give Pelicans, credit for fighting. And it did, to me, when honestly the game changed, to me, the Pelicans had the momentum. They were in position to win this game. Remember, Zion goes up for the layup, ties the game at 95-95. He leaves the game, goes to the locker room with 3 minutes left. Lakers basically closed the game from right then and there. So, if I'm the Pelicans, I got to see what's up with Zion. Do I expect to have CJ to have another off night in a few days? Possibly not. Do I expect Brandon Ingram to look better in 2 days from now? Most likely, yeah. Do I also expect Zion to give me another 40 piece? I don't think so, though. And one thing before I head it back to you, I want to give Zion his credit just because he arguably played his best game of his career in his biggest moment. This was his first playoff game, and this is his biggest moment in his career. And the fact that he was able to lead his team to victory, I just gotta give Zion his credit for just doing that.
Yeah, I mean, 40 points in your first playoff game ever speaks volumes of, stepping up in the big moment. Yeah, you're right. I thought he did. It wasn't his fault. I think it came down from it came down to free throws. Shooting 73% from the line, that just can't happen. Larry Nance Jr. missed a couple down the stretch that were big, but you're right. I think it all turned to a heel to the Lakers once Zion went down. I don't really know. He made the bucket, but when he came down, he had like a grimace look. I really don't know. The sideline reporter, she couldn't get an immediate answer from the doctors, but even the general manager went back into the locker room to see what was wrong with Zion. So keep alert to what might happen with Zion. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was a really good game. Thoughts? I did think AD kind of was playing. He didn't look right. I thought third quarter he kind of took some plays off. It felt like. Did you notice that? Because it didn't seem like the same AD out there to me.
Absolutely, Dale. Offensively, AD wasn't engaged, and that's why you got to give the Lakers credit that the fact that they're able to walk into New Orleans and take care of business when let's just say AD gives you a mediocre game offensively, I think he still give you 15 to 16 rebounds, a couple blocks, which are great. And another thing, Bill, which you was right, the Lakers ended the game making 10 consecutive free throws.
Yeah.
That was huge down the stretch. So, David had a quiet, just a little quiet night offensively. His over under was like at 24 and a half. I'm pretty sure he finished with 18, but he made those crucial free throws late in the game, was able to get those offensive round second chances points, especially late in the fourth quarter when they needed it the most. So, even though he wasn't like a 30 and 12 type of night, the fact that AD was still able to give you those crucial minutes and defensive presence down low, that's what you needed from AD down the stretch, especially when Zion got it going, because even he couldn't stop Zion. Zion had to stop himself by exiting the game. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's not too serious. He's back Thursday against the loser between the Kings and the winner between the Kings and
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah, because they got the seventh seed. They will play the Nuggets, and the Pelicans are going to play the winner of the Kings and Warriors game that's going on right now while we're recording. Kings are up 11-8, 7 minutes left in the first. But yeah, right. I think it came down to ultimately for the Pelicans. They had every opportunity to win this game. They had home court. And surprisingly, they weren't good this season at home, 21-19, just above average. I think it came down to free throws, and I think it came down to turnovers. How many did they have? 13 turnovers compared to 8 for the Lakers. And I think a lot of it came from the momentum. I think for the most part of the game, they were playing at the Lakers' speed. A lot of quick shots from the Pelicans. I didn't really think they found their rhythm until early in the second half. Did you notice that?
Yeah, Dell, in the first half, in the first quarter, they came out strong. Second quarter, they kind of got, let go. Lakers went into the halftime, I think, with an 8-10 point lead, something like that, while the Pelicans came out the first quarter with the lead. So, second half was just sluggish for them. I don't know what it was. CJ also had a slow night. And then the second half, when you had, Murphy, Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado on the floor, the ball was just moving better. The offense flew
Yeah.
at a better pace, even though arguably top two out of your three offensive players are on the bench in CJ and Brandon Ingram.
They couldn't take him out at that point. They were playing too
They brung
good.
him
The
back.
crowd
At
was
one
in it.
point,
Yeah.
the Pelicans was down 18 points. You bring in Jose Murphy in, they cut it down to 7. Hey, you look up 5 minutes later, it's a tie game.
It's a tie game, yeah. Yeah, I agree. They played better with him on the court for whatever reason. But yeah, you're right. They have a chance to stay in it. They need to win their next game. So we'll see what happens. But shout out the Lakers. We got a rematch of the Western Conference final. I guess how do you view this upcoming series for Denver and the Lakers? Right now, they opened up a 6.5 point favorite at home, game one
Damn,
against the Lakers, which I don't think is that surprising to you?
a little. Just not. Let me explain. We know the Denver Nuggets has won 8 straight games against the Golden State. The Los Angeles Lakers. We know
Mm-hmm.
that for a fact. Going back to the Western Conference last year and throughout this season, we all know Mike Malone says, "Well, who's your daddy?" and whatnot. But
Yeah.
the only reason I say that just because last year, the Nuggets caught the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. We know LeBron was dealing with that bad ankle all last year, especially late in the season into the playoffs. What was the number one thing we saw in all those fourth quarters of games 1, 2, 3, and 4? The LeBron and the Lakers not closing. Every game was nip and tuck. It wasn't like the
Yeah.
Denver ever blew the Lakers out. Every game was a 4, 3, 6, 7 point game. Last 2 minutes of the game. So I feel like that LeBron is a little healthier right now. He's shooting a higher percentage from three. Remember, he set the all-time NBA record in the playoffs for the most consecutive threes missed in fourth quarters. He missed, I think, 22 straight or something like
Mm-hmm.
that between games 1 and 4. I guarantee that will not happen again. And another thing is, still, one thing I could honestly say is Bruce Brown was a huge X factor against the Lakers in that Western Conference final. Defensively and offensively, those minutes he was giving you off the bench, I think the Nuggets are gonna miss that, especially against the Lakers in the first round. Like I said, LeBron was a little tired in the fourth quarters of those Western Conference Finals. Remember, that was the Western Conference Finals. I think this is a better matchup for the Lakers this year to catch them in the first round sooner than later. The fact that you got a healthy AD, now you get 3 days rest. No, wait, 4 days rest. They play Saturday. LeBron
Saturday, yeah.
gets a couple more days rest. Gabe Vincent, another thing I didn't mention, Gabe Vincent had his best game as a Laker all season long this year.
Yeah.
So he's getting into rotation. Let's see if Jared Vanderbilt and those guys slowly come back in rotation. So I honestly think the Lakers have a better shot this season in advancing than they did last season with the Nuggets, just because of LeBron's health right now. LeBron looks young. He's playing young. And let's just say, instead of going 0 for 20 something in those fourth quarters, this year he shot 41% from the three this year. I'm gonna say, let's just say he shoots 30%. Lakers win each of those games.
Yeah, I mean, if the Lakers produce like they did tonight, every starter was in double digits: 20 for AD, 13 for Hachimura, 23 for Braun. D'Lo had 21 and Reeves had 16. Like you said, Gabe Vincent probably had his best game as a Laker. He had 9 points off the bench. After this series, in the series, they're the biggest favorite for the series winner. Minus 310 for the Nuggets. Every other team is in the minus 190, minus 130. We talked about the Bucks, but obviously, news came out the other day that they're going to be without MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo for the opening round series against the Pacers. Apparently, they are hopeful, they could get treatment on that left calf strain that will allow him to return sometime in this series if it doesn't get out of hand. But right now, the series price minus 110 both ways. Without Giannis, are the Pacers live here?
Absolutely, they got to be live just because what they could do offensively. We know the Bucks ain't that stellar defensive team that they were a couple years ago with Drew Holiday and Budenholzer at the head coaching spot. This is a much better team. I can honestly say this might be one of the worst defenses in the playoffs. So it's just, can they lock down? Can Dame be Dame? Because we've seen Dame lead his team to the Western Conference Finals, which, in my opinion, were a tougher conference than he is now, tougher competition than he will be facing in against the Pacers. So this is what you made the trade for, though. For Damian Lillard to win a series without Giannis, this is a series Dame could win. You still got Bobby, you still got Brooke Lopez, you still got Chris Middleton. I understand he's not the same coming back from the Torrey CL and whatnot, but you still have enough role players. And say what you want, not you, Dylan, but the people, the media. Say what you want about Doc Rivers, but Doc Rivers has been there and done that. He will have the boys ready. I don't know when they have a 3-1 lead. That's a different story. But all I'm saying is, first few games of the series, Doc Rivers will have that team ready to play.
We just got an update from Andrew Lopez, reporter for ESPN down in San Antonio. Willie Green says it's a left leg soreness for Zion Williamson. He's going to get imaging done tomorrow. So it's questionable. Don't know. No, it doesn't look. If you need to go get images and an MRI, I don't
for soreness. I think they're using the wrong word, Dill. But like I said, the fact that Zion pointed to the bench right away and he left on frustration, he knew something was up from the get-go. He knew something was up. I just hope it's not that serious, because what we saw tonight against the Lakers was special.
Yeah, really good. And like I said, if they're going like that, all starters are in double digits, they are going to be a hard team to beat. Let's talk about some news that broke over the week. Phoenix Suns guard Grayson Allen, he's agreed to a 4-year, $70 million contract extension. He had a career-leading, he led the league in the NBA in three-point field goal percentage, 46.1. He avoids free agency, and the Suns going to cost him $79 million in salary and luxury tax for this and next year. Suns owner is running a projected 2024-2025 payroll up to $206 million, with another 104 looming in luxury tax. So, to keep the core together, I guess he's just willing to pay the largest tax bill. But I think they needed to extend Allen, with a limited roster flexibility. He's a good shooter. He could play some defense. I think they needed to re-sign him.
Yeah, Dill, this was a must resign. The fact that he was able to get this done before the playoffs, Dill, we both know if Grayson Allen just walks out of the playoffs healthy, he was going to get a pretty good, I'm going to say
Yeah.
similar contract somewhere in the free market, in the open market. So Phoenix was like, you know what? We love what we saw this season. Shot a career best, like you said, 46% from the 3 point line. Might as well just keep him in house now, like we saw last week with Holiday with the Celtics. They'll get that extension done. Now we see it with Grayson Allen. Let's just be honest. With those huge three pieces, I'm gonna just say the big three with KD, Beal, and Booker. You're gonna need that supporting cast who's gonna be consistent, who's gonna hit shots time in and time out around those people. And Grayson Allen is one of the perfect pieces for that. Though he's experienced, he's been there and done that. He's not scared of the moment, and it's not like you know you be having some players who are scared to play with other superstars. I think Grayson Allen embraces the moment because I remember a couple years ago, even back in college, he was the villain. So the
Yeah.
fact that he's just like, I'm not gonna say people are not aware of him, but when you go against the Suns, you're worried about the big three. Grayson Allen is the last thing on your mind, and that's why he shot 46% from the
Yeah, I
field.
think that's what he thrives in because no one's really paying attention, but he's like that secret
Yeah.
weapon where he has the sniper. So game kind of getting away from the Warriors. They're down 10 with 3 minutes left in the first quarter for right now. But let's talk about the Summer Olympics in Paris. It starts July 26th, and Team USA's team was announced. Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, Tyrese Halliburton, Ant-Man with Anthony Edwards, Drew Holiday, Bam Adebayo, AD, and today the last spot was filled for Kawhi Leonard.
Wow,
Steph,
it should have been Jalen Brunson. Should have been
bro,
Jalen Brunson.
I was just gonna say, do you notice one name that got robbed?
No,
And it
no,
was
because I
Jalen
knew
Brunson.
I knew it was the last roster spot to be filled. It was either gonna be Bam, Kawhi, or Jalen Brunson. Kawhi, I'm not gonna be mad at it. All I'm saying is Jalen Brunson deserves to be on this roster. That's all. To me, he had an MVP caliber season. Led his Knicks to the second seed. Arguably one of the best point guards in the league right now. Kawhi, I love Kawhi, but with
He's past his prime.
not just that, they look at the team you already got. You got enough size. you got
yeah.
it's not like you got KD, you got LeBron, like you got Ant Man, you got who else is Devin Booker, like I
No, they,
understand.
they definitely got size. They got Braun, they got KD, Tatum, Joel Embiid, Halliburton's a big guard. Anthony Edwards, Drew Holiday could play defense. Bam, AD. They got size. They don't
Size.
need Kawhi.
They don't need Kawhi, and I'm kind of shocked that Kawhi's opting into it as well, knowing his you know his injury history. So if I'm the Clippers front office, I'm not loving Kawhi going to play with Team USA this summer.
There were reports too. Chris Broussard. Now I don't know. Take it for what you worth. It is Chris Broussard. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but according to quote unquote his sources, a lot of things he's hearing is that Kawhi has a lot of soreness on that left knee. I'm not even worried. Fuck the Olympics. I'm worried about the upcoming playoff run with
The Mavs.
against the Mavs. That's not a easy. That's not just a gimme series. Like they're gonna Luka and Kyrie are gonna give them everything. So I don't even know. I think that's why I kind of like the Mavs in that series. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the lineup. They're all fucking all stars. I mean, this is Steph
Hall of
Curry's actually.
Famers.
Yeah, not all, but yeah, a decent portion are Hall of Famers. This is Steph Curry's first Olympics, by the way. KD is one of two players to win 3 gold medals. Do you know who the other player is?
Carmelo Anthony.
There you go. It was a layup because it is one of your guys. So, LeBron James, this is his 4th time. He won bronze in 2004, and then he won gold in 2008 and 2012. Team USA, they're looking to make it 5 straight Olympics to win gold. I'm just imagining what the opening spread are. Probably what, minus 28, minus 29.
It depends who they play. If they open up against, let's just say Argentina, it's gonna be a close game. They open up against Spain, it's gonna be close. They open up against, Puerto Rico or something,
or Trinidad and Congo.
somebody, they might get blown out.
Yeah, no, they probably
Or Czech
will.
Republic, they're gonna get blown out.
Man. Not Lithuania though, or what was the is that Lithuania?
Greece is nice.
Yeah, Greece is good as well. Luca's country, whatever. I don't think it's Lithuania, but
Siberia is nice. Jokic.
And then last but certainly not least, let's end with your Brooklyn Nets, Jordy Fernandez. He became the head coach for the Brooklyn Nets. I almost said New York Nets. Brooklyn Nets. He separated himself, according to Woj, he separated himself in this wide, long search for about a month now. The Nets have been looking for a coach. They hire Sacramento Kings top assistant. He's 41. He's been a fast rising coach candidate the past 2 years. He lands the Nets job, and he is going to continue to coach for the rest of the season. Woj said so. They're playing this game. They're winning by 10 right now after one. But you guys got yourself a new coach. What do you know about him?
I don't know much. Still, I've seen he's been an assistant for the Kings under Mike Brown, so I like that. Shows me that he not grew up, but he's under the right wing. I think Mike Brown is one of the best coaches in the NBA. Remember, Mike Brown was coaching LeBron 20 years ago, and the fact that he was able to take the Kings to the high seed they were last year, and still back in this kind of, still in the play-in picture this year, I think we got to give Mike Brown his credit. So, coming from that staff, still seeing all the young talent there, still, am I excited for it? Not really, but the fact that we're getting a young head coach, still first-time head coach, that's exciting to me, just because we've seen all the recent success when a first-time head coach comes to the league and he just, boom, takes over. So I just hope the Nets are able to make some moves in the all-season. We really got our head coach. Now let's try to get some better talent on the floor. We got some good pieces. I want to probably trade a piece or two away to get something great, though. So let's just start on that. Do I think, Fernandez could be a good coach? Yeah. But you got to show me, though. You got to show me.
Yeah, I mean, you literally just answered my next question, because I was going to ask, what do you want to see him do first? Because I think you guys have to build around Mikal Bridges and Cam Thomas, outside, and Nick Claxton. Outside of that, I mean,
Cam Thomas.
Yeah, no, I said Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton, and Bridges. Outside of that, I really can't depend on anyone. Lonnie Walker is okay. Dennis Smith Jr., okay. Cameron Johnson is a good piece. I actually like Cameron Johnson. So, like 3 or 4 guys, but I think they need to either draft or they need to go out and sign someone this offseason, I feel like, to compete.
We definitely need to sign somebody. We just got to throw somebody a large amount of money.
Like the Panthers are doing.
Yeah, like the Panthers are doing, At the end of the day, it's Brooklyn, it's a sexy spot, I understand it's New York. People want to go to Brooklyn, At the end of the day, Bridges, like you said, we got good pieces, I like Nick Claxton. I like Cameron Johnson. I like Cam Thomas. I think he could be developed to be something special, a top scorer in the NBA. Mikal Bridges, two-way player. We got the pieces still. What I would like to see is could he come in and just bring us into the play-in? I'm not even asking for the playoffs still, just to be 8 to 10 games better than we were this season. Could we get that, a 10-game jump into the 8th or 9th seed in the play-in? I'll take that, and then hopefully down the road next year after, we can make a deeper dive at it though. But with the way the current roster is set up, 8 to 10 wins improvement, to me that would be a successful first season.
Yeah, just be a little competitive. I know the East had a kind of a down year with some injuries, but yeah, get into the play-in, at least be competitive so you're in the thick of things coming into the summer. And I think that's an improvement, and just to, get better every year. So we'll see. There's potential there. Like you said, young coaches kind of make their name for themselves early on in this league. Let's transition to the NFL real quick. Colts and 3-time Pro Bowler DeForest Buckner reach an agreement, 2-year, $46 million extension that ties him to Indianapolis until 2026. They traded the number 13 overall pick to the 49ers back in 2020 for DeForest Buckner. They quickly signed him to a 4-year, $84 million extension, and now he just was rewarded with his second big deal. Indianapolis, they signed 10 of their own players this offseason. DeForest Buckner, Michael Pittman Jr., Kenny Moore, Zaire Franklin, Ronnie Harrison, Taekwon Jones, just to name a few. So they're keeping a lot of their guys. They like what they have, and the Pro Bowler gets another big payday, kid.
Yeah, rightfully so. The fact that like you say, you got that big 4-year deal a couple years ago. Now you're getting a long term, not long term, but another extension. Still, it just shows me that the Colts aren't. They like the team that they have right now. And to be honest, with Anthony Richardson, I give them a shot to be competitive. We saw him last year with them start off strong. What 2-3-1, 2-1? No, I think it started three
I
and zero.
think it was 2-1 or 3-0,
3 and
something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. With Anthony Richardson, we saw Gardner Minshew almost lead them to the playoffs down the stretch. Came down to the last game of the season. You got one of the best running backs in football, in Jonathan Taylor. Still, that defense is always like a top 15, top 10 defense year, at least in the past 3 seasons. And we already know the offensive line. It's up there. I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's a pretty good offensive line, Dill. So the potential is to compete for the division is there. You know, I know you like the Texans. I think I like the Texans as well. Jacksonville is right there. But if Indianapolis could just stay healthy, I think I'll give them a shot to at least make it to the wild card. I understand the AFC North is noted and all that, but they'll barring injury, I like what I saw beginning of last season. They can stay healthy. That defense stays healthy. I think the Colts are going to be really good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they're the wild card team because I do think both of us, Titans, I think they're a few years away. They're in the rebuilding process. But I think with Anthony Richardson, he's such a wild card. And I think his athleticism could be the wild card in this division. I think Jaguars are kind of regressing a little bit. I mean, I, when healthy, they both ended the season 9-8, and Anthony Richardson played what, 2-3 games?
I
And they
believe
did
so,
it with
yeah.
Gardner Minshew. So they like this team, and I don't blame them. I think they have a solid line, solid defense. They have a good running back. They re-signed Pittman Jr. If they have their quarterback, this could be a 10-11 win team. And I mean, they were only a game behind the Texans. So let's not say, Texas really ran away with the division. So I agree. I like it. I think they are live in the division, and I think they see that as well. That's why they're resigning all of their guys to 2 to 3 year extensions. So I love it. I mean, and the defensive contracts for this offseason continue to go up. Chris Jones, 31.75 million. He leads it. Christian Watkins, we saw him get the big deal, 27.5 million. Justin Matabuke from the Ravens, 24.5. Derek Brown, 24, and DeForest Buckner, the fourth most. He's a top 5 defensive tackle. He's getting paid like 23 million per year. Do you think that's a little much for him, or do you think he is a top 5 D tackle?
Still, I think he still got some left in him. Still, could he be a top 5 D tackle this year? Absolutely. Next year, we got to see about that. For this upcoming season, yes, he's a top 5 D tackle.
All right. And then also another payday, the Eagles, they extend Devontae Smith 3-year contract. That ties him to Philly through 2028. 51 million guaranteed. It's a 4-year, $90.59 million extension. Like I said, 51 of it is guaranteed. He had a 15.5 million, like 5th-year option. He picked it up. They added another 3 years, 75 on top of that. So I mean, I think that's so smart and proactive on the Eagles' part to get a deal done and lock in Smith before this wide receiver market goes crazy. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all these big time guys are looking for a contract. They are so smart to get this done out of the way and kind of get him on a discount.
Yeah, like you said, get him on a discount. The Eagles definitely save some money on the back end just because, like you said, you got the Jamar Chase, the Justin Jefferson of the world who's trying to get paid, if not soon, definitely before at least the start of the season. We
Yeah.
saw CD Lamb not show up to voluntary camps for the Cowboys. He's looking for a major payday as well. So the fact that the Eagles was able to get this deal done now before the draft, now you're gonna see some of these other teams. Like you said, T. Higgins still requested a trade. Let's see, we got Brandon Ayuk requested a trade. He's looking for a payday as well. So, the fact that the Eagles was able to get this contract done, and I'm gonna say at a fair number, at basically
Yeah,
twenty
I
five
do
million
too.
dollars a year, when you got Jamar Chase, who's going to exceed $30+ million a year. You got Justin Jefferson, who might just set the all-time record. I think he's going to get $35 to $40 million still. Brandon Ayuk, he just had a Super Bowl run. We know what he's capable of doing. Maybe there's a desperate team that might give him 4 or 5 years, 100 or something million as well. So those, to me, those old deals are going to get done soon. And the fact that the Eagles was like, you know what, let's just step in, get this deal done now before the market goes crazy. And Smith be like, why y'all disrespecting me? Offer me
Yeah.
25 million a year when these other top guys are getting 30 plus.
Yeah, you're reading my mind talking and bringing up CD Lamb because that was my next thing I wanted to bring up. CD Lamb, he didn't show up to voluntary offseason program on Monday. He's awaiting a new contract. He's making fully guaranteed 17.2 million this year. He has a 5th-year option. Justin Jefferson, he wasn't there for voluntary offseason program. He's set to make 19.5 million. So he's making about 2 more million than CD. But I mean, are you worried? Like, because the deadline for a long-term contract is sometime in early June. So are you worried? Because it's slowly approaching. I know June's a few months away, but we got the draft in 8 days. Things got to start moving a little quickly, I feel like, for these wide receivers.
Dude, I ain't worried about nothing. But if I'm the Minnesota, if I'm a Viking fan, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm a little worried just because we've seen what Dak Prescott is without a true number one. We remember those years before Amari Cooper got to Dallas. Dak wasn't at the level he's at right now. I think the only way you get Dak to be in the MVP conversation and stuff like that, you get a 3 consecutive season, 12 win seasons for the Cowboys, is when you have a game changer, a true number one wide receiver. At times, the best player on the field is CD Lamb. Dale, we saw it multiple times this season where he did that. So to me, if I'm the Cowboys, you need to get this deal done ASAP. Just because off the top of the head, we can't name you the number two right now for the Cowboys. Brandon Cooks is not on the team no more.
Yeah.
So so they're gonna have to make some moves there, and it has to start with getting CD Lamb. And then with the Vikings and Jetta still with Justin, Kirk Cousins there no more. I could possibly see the Minnesota Vikings trading away Justin Jefferson deal. Just because you're gonna have to set an all-time record paying that man. We know that. You know that he's the best wide receiver in football. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's gonna demand the highest paid salary. In Minnesota, are you willing to swallow that during a rebuild? That's my question to Minnesota. Are you willing to have a true, arguably the best wide receiver in football during a rebuild, though? Because that's what's going on right now. So that's what Minnesota got to ask themselves. Do we just trade him at draft night for a top 10 pick and, like, sign third or something like that, a first and a third? I think he'll go for that much. But at the end of the day, you don't really have a true quarterback in Minnesota. Why have the best wide receiver in football during a rebuild?
Yeah, I mean, it's worrisome, especially for Minnesota, but who I really think is worrisome is for the Cowboys because I mean, they have Dak coming up,
But
Gallup. I guess he's their number two.
yeah, plus
Zach
Gallup
Martin.
is a free agent. He's a free agent. Cooks is a free agent. Their number two is a rookie. Is a guy they drafted a couple years ago, Turpin or Turbin, something like that. He was a first
Yeah.
round pick.
I mean, Diggs, Zach Martin, Minka Fitzpatrick, his contract is coming up. They don't have the money to pay everyone. I mean, that's the problem. Like, what are you gonna do with CD? I mean, yeah. And speaking of the Cowboys, a few hours ago they did sign Royce Freeman. They got their running back 1-year deal. He rushed for 319 yards on 77 carries, 2 touchdowns last year for the Los Angeles Rams. So the running back room now for the Dallas Cowboys: Rico Dwaddle as the running back 1, Deuce Vaughn number 2, and Royce Freeman at 3. That might be the worst running back room in the league.
And Dill, to be honest, I gotta agree with you. Just because we're talking about paying these superstar players, it's a good problem to have. But we saw Tennessee signed Tony Pollard back-to-back seasons. Zeke Elliott walks out the room. Now Tony Pollard walks out the room. Now Cowboys have arguably the worst running back depth chart in all of football. They're definitely gonna have to do something in the draft with that. And like you said, Dill, I agree with you. they have, Michael Fitzpatrick. You got CD Lamb. You gave Trayvon Diggs all that money. He missed the season last year. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
re-sign Dak. So that's a lot of money. That's gonna be at least 50% of your cap in just those 4 to 5 players. So I think the Cowboys got some decisions to make. But if I'm the Cowboys, you gotta keep CD. You gotta keep CD because we know without a true number one, Dak is just gonna fall into. I'm gonna just say out of the top 10 quarterbacks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hot take. I don't think they re-signed Dak. I think they let him walk after this year. I mean, the cap hit is insane, kid. It's right now I'm looking at it, 59 million.
Yeah, but that's
For I know.
They could have extended him months ago.
Yeah, they know,
look,
but
look what the Eagles just did.
For not a top 10 quarterback,
Jill, I understand, but at the end of the day, the Cowboys have 3 consecutive 12 wins. You know who has the most wins in the last 3 seasons? The Cowboys.
Dak.
I understand that didn't amount to anything.
So is that what he's getting paid for?
Yes. No, yeah. But yes. Just because, Dak was in the MVP conversation. At one point, I think at week 15, he was the front runner. I think after he was the front runner for about a week or two, Bill. So
he's doing the same thing that Kirk Cousins is essentially doing. He's playing good enough to get a good contract, and he's securing the bag. He doesn't really even. It feels like he doesn't even care about the postseason. I don't want to say that because that's not. I don't want to assume, but they always have a good team. So I never want to hear that they don't have the team. They always have a good team. They always do well in the regular season, but when they get there, one playoff win. They're too good of a team to only have one playoff win, and I think that's what people should get paid on. But it doesn't. That's not reality. So, unfortunately,
got 180 million.
I know, and I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I know, and he only has one playoff. I hear you, and I think all the criticism that I'm giving to Dak and what people give to Kirk Cousins is all fair, and people should have that concern.
At the end of the day, Dak deserves criticism just because he hasn't delivered in that big game. Like I said, 3 consecutive seasons with 12 plus wins. What have that gotten you in the playoffs? Absolutely nothing. You was down 27-0 at half.
And it'd be one thing, if he was on his rookie deal and not making as much as he is. The problem is what he's making. He's getting paid like a top 10, top 7 quarterback. You need to fucking deliver.
Paid as a number 1. Patrick Mahomes don't make as much as him. Aaron Rodgers don't make as much as him.
Especially last year, Aaron Rodgers. He didn't make nothing last year.
No, he made it. He made it.
Yeah.
He made it. He made it.
This game's getting out of hand. They're down 11 with 6 minutes left, and they're just
that's not out of hand. Phil, that's 3 threes. They're down 2 by 6.
I know. It just looks
Clay
like by the
1, Steph hits 2, timeout.
Timeout. they want to light the beam so bad. I feel like in Sacramento. But before
round 1 last year went 7 games. Warriors won it in Sacramento, so it's gonna come down to a close game watch.
Yeah, I hope so. Before we get to our plays, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted number 1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching the NBA playoffs, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. Shout out to the people at Viva. They just sent us a nice care package, so they restocked us. I gotta send you yours as well. So
I would have had a few here right now.
Right there. It'd be perfect down there in the beautiful state of Florida. Gotta love it. Let's go to the NBA. Wednesday, 2 games on the board. We have the 76ers taking on the Miami Heat. Right now, 76ers -5 Over under is at two. What is it? 208. I was seeing 209. It's 208. Late 76ers -5 at home. Plus 170 for the Miami Heat. What do you got here, kid?
Still, even though I love Miami, I love what the fact that last year being the ninth seed, 10th seed, going all the way to the finals. Still, I gotta respect how Joel Embiid came back after injury. They'll tell me Maxi playing at a high level. I even like the way Tobias
Huh?
Harris been playing as of late. Joel Embiid, I think this is gonna be a good game, Dill. But I'm gonna have to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. I got the -4.5. I'll still lay the 5. I like the 5, Dill. I just think it's this their game to lose. You know,
Yeah.
Joel B's back is in Philly. Don't get me wrong. I do expect Jimmy Butler to have a huge game, but Tyler Hero as well. But everybody else, you know, I just feel like it's Philly's moment. It's Philly's day, and not for nothing, Dill, that 76ers Knicks matchup. Woo-wee. Let's just
Yeah,
see. Hopefully that's
a
it.
lot of
Hope
people, like a lot of my Nick fans and people that I've talked to, they were like, "Oh,
yeah, I'd
like
rather
we
play the
got,"
Heat.
or no, they were just like, "Damn, we should have got the third seed because now we have a tough matchup regardless." I say fucking bring it. I don't give a fuck who we got. 76ers, the Heat. It don't matter. It runs through the Mecca. It doesn't fucking matter. But for this game, I agree, kid. I was able to actually get a 4. It dropped earlier 2-4 for a few hours and I grabbed it. 4.5, I still like. I just think, like you said, they're just a better team right now. With Embiid, they have one of the highest winning percentages when Maxi and Embiid are on the court together. Granted, it's not the biggest sample size because of he was hurt, but regardless, they play really good. They're coming into this playing with 8 straight wins. I don't think Philly's a team you want to play in a one and done game, if I'm being honest.
In
So
Philly.
in Philly, on the road, hostile territory. I agree, though. I do think Jimmy Butler, I thought I saw his point prop around 23 and a
23 and a
half.
half. Yeah, I
Yeah,
took the
so
over at -120.
makes sense.
I think the number's just too low. Playoff Jimmy. He's capable of doing everything. He hates Tobias Harris. He saw that famous clip after
Hmm.
beating them in Philadelphia. He said, Tobias Harris over me? Because remember, Tobias Harris got that
Yeah,
5 year, 150, 160 mil. Jimmy had to
yeah,
go to Miami.
to
So
get it. Yeah, yeah.
so I know that still kicks him still sticks to him in the back of his head just because how special it would have been Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler, Dill. Let's just be
Hmm.
honest. So, and Maxi and James Harden. It was just so many things, but I just think the better team will prevail tomorrow. Give me the 76ers -4.5, -5, whatever you catch it at. Give me Jimmy Butler over 23.5 at -120.
Yeah, I love the Jimmy point prop. I do think, regardless if they lose, I think it has to run through him. It's time. He knows there's a different gear he sets when he steps on the court in the playoffs. So I do like that, but I do agree. I think the 76ers are just a better team right now. They're hotter at home. They should win this game. So yeah, I'll lay the points too here with the 76ers. Let's go to the next game. A little closer. Chicago Bulls hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Bulls laying 3 at home. -148 if you want to take them on the money line, plus 124 for the Atlanta Hawks. Over under is at 221. What do you like here, kid?
So I'm going with the road underdog. Give me Atlanta Hawks +3, Dale. Like I said on the other podcast on Sunday show, I just feel like if the game comes down to a 2 minute, like we saw today with the Pelicans, Dale, 3 minutes left, tie game. I just trust Murray and Trey Young to put their team in position to win. Because I could trust those guys with the ball in their hand. Ice Tree, he's gonna hit a big shot. He's gonna make those late game free throws. Durante Murray, he's gonna make the right decision. He could make those tough shots as well. Don't get me wrong. I trust DeMar DeRozan, but everybody else, though, I just trust Trey Young and Devontae Murray with the ball in their hands down the game stretch than I do most of the Bulls players. So do I think the Bulls are the better team? They're the right side at home, yes. But I think the Atlanta have a good chance to not just covering the points. I think they're live dogs as well.
Yeah, could have come down on a side. I would take the Bulls though. I do think like we made the argument with the 76ers, they're the better team coming into the playoffs. I think the momentum's going to ride with the home team. Um I no play. I like the over though. I think we see a lot of points here. I think a lot of fast pace, especially with the Atlanta Hawks. They really don't play defense, so I think we see a lot of points here. But I got a fun player prop. I found DeMar DeRozan under a half a 3-point made plus 160. DeMar hasn't hit a 3-point shot in a playoff game since April 25th, 2018. 19
Mm.
games in the playoff, 17 and 2 playing games. So he hasn't hit one yet. It's going to be a nail biter, but DeMar DeRozan not to hit a 3 at plus 160. Let's get crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't
Um,
really attempt them. He's a
no.
mid-range killer. That's what
Oh
he
my.
is.
Honestly, hot take, he might be one of the best mid-range assassins I grew up watching. He lives in the mid-range.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Kobe, D Wade, Kawhi, DeMar DeRozan. Mid-range games are crazy. And
And
and,
it's yeah.
and playoff time, Sean Livingston. If you know, you know. He was
Facts.
just
Sean
a
Livingston
killer.
was legit. Yeah, he
Yo, bro,
was.
anything from like 15 in,
Yo,
automatic.
you got that. I did not expect you to
Backboard,
say
bank
Sean
two,
Livingston. Yeah,
bank
coming up
two.
the court from the free throw
Quick,
line.
lit,
From the free
leave.
throw. Yep. Holy shit! I did not expect you to go
Net
Sean Livingston.
great.
He's a beast. Yeah. Let's relax. He won with the Warriors. All right.
I know, but he was still in
Yeah.
net. Still great. Still great.
uh, but yeah, we'll have plays for the weekend. We got the loaded slate for Saturday and Sunday. The other game will decide after this, but yeah, as of right now, the Warriors are still down. They're only down 8 actually. You're right. They didn't
I'm
get out of
trying to.
hand.
I'm trying to tell you.
3 minutes left before halftime. But yeah, like the Saturday games, Magic, Cavs, Suns, Timberwolves, close game. We already talked about the Lakers, Nuggets. You already think that's a little too many points, plus 6.5. And then Pacers. Everything's a close spread, 1.5 across the board. Besides the Lakers, that's a 6-point. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 4-point favorites. But Magic coming in a little banged up here. Coming in
Yeah,
here into the playoffs a little banged up.
yeah, Dale. To me, like you know how you said some fans would have been like, "Oh, I wish you would have dropped to the third seed." To me, I should have dropped to the fourth. It was just a pile up top, Dale. And to be honest, to me, to me your best matchup wise to advance would have been Cleveland because y'all took care of business last year in 5. I think y'all would
Yeah.
have got in 6, worst case scenario. And to be honest, I think y'all could beat the Orlando Magic in 5. With Philadelphia, like I said, when Joel Embiid returns, especially I even mean it more now. The 76ers are live to contend for the Eastern Conference. Still, I'm letting you know right now. If the Knicks can handle them, give the Knicks all the credit in the world. Though, but if the 76ers can't get past the Knicks, I think the Celtics is the only team that could take them down.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very plausible. And yeah, a lot of people said that like, oh, get the Cavs because I agree. I think we match up with the Cavs just really well, and we just have their number. But the same thing could be said about the Magic. They beat us 3 out of 4 times this series. Granted, they were healthy, but I don't know. Anything in the playoffs could happen. But yeah, I'm fine. We got the bye. We're gonna rest up until Saturday, and I think we're gonna play the 76ers. So that's fine. It's all good. I want all the smoke, to be honest. I want to beat the good teams. So just to prove all the haters a little wrong. Let's go to the MLB. We got about 14, 15 games, a huge slate. We got day baseball. I fucking love having day baseball. It brings me throughout the day until the playoffs. Let's start with the 1 o'clock. The hottest team in the MLB, winners of 9 of their last 12, the New York fucking Mets are hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates. Luis Severino going for the Mets. Bailey Falter going for the Pirates. Minus 142 for the Mets. Plus 120 for the Buccos. Over under is at 8.5. Kid, are you back in my Mets?
I can't deny Dill. The Mets have been on a little hot streak. Gotta respect it there, Dill. But they're in New York. Pirates versus the Mets, Dill. Give me
Mm,
the under 8.5 on minus
mm.
115. Mets been winning games. Still don't trust their bats. Pittsburgh, we know they started hot. coming back down to earth a little bit, Dill. Give me the under eight
Hmm.
and a half.
Yeah, I like that. Last couple games have been very close. The Mets bullpen ERA is one of the best in the National League. We're really not scoring a bunch of runs. We're only scoring what we need to, 3 to 4 runs per game. But our pitching is really what's keeping us in most games. -142 is a little heavy on Luis Severino, if I'm being honest. I do think if you want pure value, I think it is with the Buccos, but I'm not going to tell you to not take the Mets right now. So lean the Mets, but -142 is a little pricey, so stay away. Another 1 o'clock game. The Detroit Tigers are hosting the Texas Rangers. Rangers coming in as dogs, losers of a couple of straight. Tariq Skubal going for the Tigers. Dane Dunning going for the Rangers. Tigers -148 on the money line. Over under is at 7.5. How do you like this one?
So in my mind, I want to take the Rangers on the money line so bad, +124. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna advise anybody to do it. But that's my lean. The Rangers on the money line deal. Dunning on the mound. I know you don't love him. I like him a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's still Detroit deal. Give them credit. Started off hot. Another team that's coming back down to earth. I think Rangers, they started off cold. I think they're gonna slowly start getting there, deal. I think the Rangers are live puppies, +124. Heavy lean.
Ooh, you're coming out here with the dogs today. I appreciate it. I do think there is value there with the Rangers. I agree. Detroit coming back down to earth a little bit. It's not that I don't like Dane Dunning. I just think he gives up a lot of hard
You do,
contact.
you do.
Tariq Skubal is the better pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
The under is, I think, the play. It's going to be a very windy
Seven and a
day.
half, but it's Detroit. It is Detroit.
Yeah,
It's Pittsburgh ballpark.
Detroit. So yeah, lean under, but wouldn't be surprised. I do think the value is with the dog again. So let's go to another match. Day game, 2:10 Eastern. Houston Astros hosting the Atlanta Braves. Braves -155 road favorites, +130 for the Astros. JP France going for the Stros. Max Fried going for the Braves. Over under is at 9. What do you like here, kid? Another dog?
Nah, Dill. This one I caught it earlier in the day. As of right now, -152 on the money line. Wouldn't advise you to lay it there, but I caught -136 earlier with the Atlanta Braves. So we just gotta any number under 140 with the Braves on the money line. Till I think you just gotta smash it, especially against a team like the Houston Astros right now, who's just struggling,
Hmm.
So honest, even though Fried worries me on the mound a little bit. The struggling offense for the Astros gives me a little more confidence. Give me the Braves on the money line -136. For the people listening, I wouldn't advise you to lay the -152. I still like them but to lay -152, I don't think it's the smartest bet.
Yeah, I agree. I got -136 earlier in the day as well, and I grabbed that. -152 is getting a little up there. I think the value is all gone with the Braves. But like you said, anytime you get a -135 or -136, like Elvis and myself, you got to pounce on them, regardless of who's pitching. With that lineup, they have probably one of the best lineups in baseball. They could win on any given day, just like the Dodgers. So I think you need to take the Braves here. Total at 9. I do like the over. I think we could see some runs here. We saw the game on Tuesday. It's like 6-8, 6-2, 7-2. So we're gonna see some runs here. Just two bad pitchers. Max Fried, he has an 8.74 ERA. JP France 8.22 ERA. Both guys are going to give up some runs here. So if you don't want to take the Braves, which I don't doubt, or which I don't blame you at this price, I do like the over as another option. Let's go to Toronto. The Blue Jays are hosting the New York Yankees. To pick them now, -110 both ways. Uh, I guess the short favorite is the Yankees. They have the -1.5 on the spread, +150. Over under is at an 8. Yankees lost 3 in a row, kind of coming down a little bit. What are your thoughts here, kid?
Dude, I think this is why this is the perfect bounce back. The honestly, Gosman on the mound, elite. Give him credit. But like you say, Yankees losing 3 straight. Stroman coming back, a little revenge factor there as well. It's just gonna be to me. It's just tough to see this Yankees team, even though I'm a Red Sox fan. I just hard to believe they're about to lose 4 straight. Even though Gosman's on the mound, Toronto got a heavy shot. That's why I think the money's coming in. That's why they're the favorite now. I think the Yankees go right ahead with Stroman on the mound. Give me the Yankees on the money line, whatever you can catch it at. I caught -116 as of right now. They're -107.
I actually like the Blue Jays here, kid. Winners of 4 straight. Things are kind of turning around. The bats have been waking up, especially on the top of the lineup. My worry is Marcus Stroman. Bounce back. This is the perfect time to, like you said, to jump on the Yankees. It's a buy low situation for the Yankees. It's a stay away game, honestly, for me. I really didn't want to touch it. 8.5 is the total. Seems about right. If anything, I would take the over. We saw a lot of runs today. Like I said, I do think the bats for the Blue Jays have woken up just a little bit. So I actually like the home team. I know Kevin Gausman scares you. 11.57 ERA hasn't come off to the best of starts to start the season, but I think just the Blue Jays are playing better ball right now. So lean Blue Jays and lean over 8. Oh, kid, it's Blackburn Day. Our boy Paul Blackburn is on the hill for the Oakland Athletics against Steven Matz for the Cardinals. Cardinals -155 favorite, +130 for the Oakland Athletics. Over under is at 8. Elvis, I know this is your boy, but I have to start this one off. Give me the Athletics +130. Are you kidding me for the Oakland Athletics? They've been competitive. And not just today, but every game they've won with Paul Blackburn on the mound. +130 is so disrespectful. I think it should be a pick 'em. And at home, give me Paul Blackburn. First 5, give me Paul Blackburn and the Athletics full game money line. I'm all over the Athletics tomorrow, kid.
All I'm gonna say is I put you on to my boy Blackburn, and I love the energy Dylan is giving out people. Like you said, Blackburn, he's just a stud. It sucks that he's just fading away in Oakland, but he's a stud, people. I'm gonna go right there, though. I'm not as ballsy as you on the money line, but I love the energy. I'm gonna go first 5 plus half a run at -128, and give me the full game as well, plus 1.5 at -135. Though I think the Athletics keep it close. I also believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they have the best ATS so far in baseball.
Yeah, Oakland ATS right now is they're 8-9 overall, but they lost 4 in a row on the ATS +1.5, and they were also -1.5. But yeah, they were on a run of like 9 of their last 10 covering the +1.5. You're right, they were on a hot streak. Bro, they're 7-10. They're playing very competitive baseball for a team that we all counted out and said they're probably a bottom 5 team. They're playing really well. Paul Blackburn, I just wanted to read his numbers real quick because he's off to a Cy Young season.
0.
19 1/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 11 hits, 0 runs, 0 earned runs, 0 home runs. He struck out 11. He's only walked 3 batters. I mean, this guy has a .72 whip. That's top 5 in the majors. I mean, I wish this guy was a Met. Like, this guy's a top 5 pitcher right now. Like, yeah, I mean, I feel like every team wishes they had Paul Blackburn, if I'm being honest. But yeah, what a fucking season this guy is having. Yeah, we're on the Athletics. I got carried away real quick. Let's go to the Diamondbacks. They are hosting the Chicago Cubs. Diamondbacks home favorites -120, +100 with Jordan Wicks on the mound. Brandon Fart going for the D-backs. Over under is at 9.5. What do you like here, kid?
Still, to me, I ended up staying away just because I think it's a trap. I'm gonna be honest. I like the Cubs +101 on the money line. Earlier, I liked the Diamondbacks, but I ended up staying away. Wicks on the mound versus Frat. I'm gonna go with the Cubs. Lean, people, not official.
Yeah, this one was a total stay away. It did feel like a trap, honestly. I mean, Cubs being this short. I like the Diamondbacks. I do think they're a good team. They're playing good baseball right now, but I just don't trust Jordan Fart right now, or Brandon Fart, excuse me. So it's a stay away game. 9.5. Total seems spot on. High. Okay. Yeah. So maybe lean under, but yeah, just real no feel for the game. If anything, it's a stay away. Yeah, it's a stay away game for me. Let's go out to Seattle. The Mariners hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Andrew Abbott going for the Reds. Bryce Miller going for the Mariners. Minus 135 for the Mariners. Plus 114 for the Reds. Over under is at 8. What do you like here, kid?
This is kind of the same scenario. I do think Seattle's the right side, but I couldn't get to the window with it. I do like Seattle, but I just don't trust them offensively. I do like Miller on the mound going tomorrow, but can I trust Seattle? Even though they're at home, can I trust them to put up, let's just say, 5 runs against Cincinnati? I don't trust that. There's a reason why the over under is at 8, Dill. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
just stay away. I do like Seattle. If you tell me Seattle could win this game 3-1, by all means, but I just don't see Seattle winning a nip and tuck, 2-1, 2-3-2 game. I just don't see that.
Yeah, you're right. I think even at minus 135, a lot of people would say, they're short they're short right now, and I think there's value there. I don't. I think the value is with Cincinnati. I think they have the better bats, even though Bryce Miller has looked amazing to start the season. 196 ERA, both of them. Even Andrew Abbott, 260 ERA. I understand the total seems very sharp at 8, so I wouldn't touch the total. I mean, if money comes in on Seattle and you're able to get a minus 120, I think then it's maybe worth a shot with Seattle. But over at minus 135, I just don't see any value here with the Mariners. So I agree with you. I'm going to stay away from this game. Let's go just a little down I-95 to Philadelphia. Phillies hosting the Colorado Rockies. Ryan Faulkner going for the Rockies. Christopher Sanchez going for the Phillies. Phillies minus 225 favorites on the money line, minus 1.5, minus 108, plus 185 for the Rockies. Over under is at 8. What do you like here, kid?
It's another stay away for me, though. Do I trust the Phillies to lay the 1.5? No, not yet, though. Not yet. Do I like them? Do I think this is the right side? Absolutely. We fade Colorado most of the time, especially on the road, though. But with Sanchez on the mound, I just don't trust the Philadelphia Phillies to on the run line. I'm not going to advise anybody to take it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the under too, kid. I mean, the way that both of these teams have been playing 5-0 on Tuesday, 2-1, 4-3, 2-5. Philly, regardless of how good of on paper the lineup is, they're just not producing. They're winning. They're winning 2-1, 4-3, 5-0 type games, but they're really not producing like they're supposed to, in my opinion. Especially like I said, the top of the lineup with Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper's hitting 195, Alex Boehm's only hitting 232 in the middle of the lineup. Castellanos 177. Rojas, I know he's young. He's a great fielder, center fielder. He covers a lot of ground, but he's hitting 175. I don't know, kid. They're not in altitude. I kind of would lean under here, if anything, for this game. They're just playing a lot of unders to start the season. It's still a little cold out, so I think that's why we're seeing unders still. Let's go out to Tampa Bay. 2 games left. Tampa Bay Rays hosting the Los Angeles Angels. Rays minus 125 with Zach Liedl on the mound. Reed Demers going for the Halos plus 105. Over under is at 8. What do you like here, kid?
Still, I will be in the building tomorrow for this matchup. Good pitching matchup, by the way. I'm gonna have to go with the home. With the home team, the Tampa Bay Rays minus 126 on the money line. I got it's minus 125 right now. I got minus 132. I love the minus 125. I will be in the building. I hope the game goes over, by the way. It's at 8 even. Still, I just hope the pitchers start well, and then the bats start going, 4th, 5th, 6th inning. So give me Tampa Bay Rays minus 125 on the money line.
Yeah, I agree. Minus 125. I got it early because I thought I was getting a good number. Minus 132. It's going the opposite way. I still like him, though. Reed Demers is actually having a really good season, 3-0 with a 104 ERA. But Zach Liedl is pitching well as well. 117 ERA. Just think they're the better team right now. Halos have actually produced, though. They are scoring some runs. They're playing better than a lot of people anticipated. But you're there. Good luck. We're going to take the Rays here. And then last game on the slate, the Boston Red Sox, they blew it for me tonight in extras, kid. But Red Sox are hosting the Cleveland Guardians. Tanner Hawk going for the Red Sox. Ben Lively going for the Guardians. Minus 148 for the Red Sox. Plus 124 for the Guardians. Over under is at 9. Can the Red Sox bounce back, kid?
Yo, I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm about to tell you this, though. Cleveland's just a better team right now. I'm
They
not
are.
gonna
They
advise
are.
nobody. And I'm surprised you're the favorite, to be honest. The fact that we're $1.50 favorite is shocking to me. Especially after these past few days. You know, we started off hot. Last week we've been real sluggish. Even though Hulk is on the mound, he's good. He could probably throw a gem though. But Cleveland right now just playing at a higher level. I'm gonna stay away. I advise the listeners take a sprinkle on Cleveland. The Red Sox, we're struggling right now.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're the favorite, but it ranges, kid. I see as high as minus 150 all the way down to minus 134 for the Red Sox. So you're getting a lot of range, but you're right. I just think right now the Guardians are the better team offensively, defensively, pitching wise. And they're 8-2 on the road. They're playing really well away from home, and that's what worries me. So if you want to take the value, I do think it is with the Guardians, kid. Sad to say, but I do think that. But yeah, that's all our plays. Any last words, kid? What are the plans here looking like for Florida?
You know, tomorrow I'm going to the game. You know, I'm gonna be helping my uncle out with a few things. Hopefully this weekend. Kind of want to go to the beach. Kind of want to ride some jet skis. He wants to go fishing. He could go fishing. I'll ride the jet skis and get litty on the beach. You know.
Hey, I love it, man. Tell the fam I said hi. Let's win all of our bets. Have a good time. How long you down there? A week? 2 weeks? What's it looking like?
I'll be back in Jersey Monday, though. You know, I can't be gone for too long. Come on.
Too long. Okay. I like to hear it. All right, kid. Well, you get back safe. Enjoy the beautiful state of Florida. That is going to do it for this Wednesday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, make sure you guys follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dream Wager. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. Be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. See you guys on Friday. Peace.